Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of 3 Point Stance presented by Mountain Dew. I am Meghan Triplett, and that is John Roser, like always. And Roser, we got a lot to talk about because so much happened in a matter of 7 days. And we have to start with the biggest news, honestly, waking up on Monday morning, and that's Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is no longer a member of the Bucs team after walking off the field in the middle of the game at MetLife Stadium, not flying back with the team, having to get a personal driver. I'm really not quite sure where he went or what's happening right now. But at this moment, for Antonio Brown and his tenure as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that is over, according to Bruce Arians. Do you think this is it for Antonio Brown's NFL career?
Yeah, I think it was going to be it for it. I think before he signed with Tampa, I think the only reason it wasn't the end of his career is because of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tom Brady vouched for the guy. And I think Tom Brady, even through the fake vaccination card, I think that's something like, Bruce Arians has always been known like he doesn't really tolerate crap. And, people thought that might be the end of him there. But I think Bruce Arians knows what, a lot of these guys at the NFL knows. Like a ton of these NFL guys don't want to be vaccinated, or the guys that there are even guys that are vaccinated that they didn't want to get vaccinated. But it just was more beneficial towards testing stuff and everything like that when it came to, being able to do have things be normal in the practice facility and everything. And so I think he kind of, and I think Tom Brady probably vouched for him again and said, look, Bruce, it ain't that big of a deal. Like, it's not that he didn't do anything on the field. He hadn't been a problem at practice or anything, being a jerk on the field at practice or whatever. And so Bruce Arians let it go. But then yesterday you do that in the middle of the game. Yeah, you're done. He will never play in the NFL again. Never.
Here's the thing. I'm with you. I thought he was never going to play in the NFL again before Tampa Bay. And you're right. It's all Tom Brady. But to the point where, because that happened, it now has me questioning everything. Like, you know what? I've seen crazier things before. And the NFL, they're a more forgiving league sometimes. And especially when you're still a good football player, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not just over. And Tom Brady has so much power. I even said on Rise and Grind this morning, I said, honestly, I could see Tom Brady going to Bruce Arians saying like, hey, let's change your mind. Could Tom Brady convince Bruce Arians? Bruce Arians is like a no deal, like I don't deal with mess. And we've never seen a football player literally just walk off the field before. Like that is probably, I think something else happened leading up to that. We don't quite know. I don't think he was just even in that game. Something happened throughout this week. There was something going on that Antonio Brown is like, you know what? I'm done. I don't need this. But I wouldn't be surprised. Roser, I really do think that it's 2022. It's been a really rough couple of years. I've seen some crazy stuff happen. I think that I don't want it to be the case, but I think that he could very well have still another shot.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. He's not. He would, because again with Tom Brady vouched for him, and that's why he got back in the league. If it wasn't Brady, he would never have been back in the league. And I don't think there's another quarterback. Maybe Mahomes, but I will still say no. He'll never play in the NFL again.
Seen some crazy.
Something did happen, though. You're right.
I need someone.
He was tweeting about a bunch of stuff this week with the vaccines. Something triggered him, and he's been bothered all week.
Oh, he was Instagramming after that moment. I was like, he had either pictures for days and just had the caption. He was like the song dropping right after too. Look, there's a lot more to the story, and I'm just gonna sit back and just wait and see. Tom Brady was empathetic, and that is his friend Le'Veon Bell. That's his friend. They said that they hope that whatever Antonio Brown's going through, that he gets the help that he needs, and they want him to know that they're there for them. I'm just saying that Tom Brady has a lot of power, and I can see him being like, you know what? I don't want him gone.
Yeah.
And honestly, with no Antonio Brown, you already don't have Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette with injuries too. I don't know. I have no idea. But
no, Tampa Bay's not winning the Super Bowl. They don't have enough to win the Super Bowl now.
We'll have to wait and see what happens with Antonio Brown. Like, more stuff will probably come out this week. I'm sure we'll hear.
Oh yeah, we'll hear more. If not from reports, we'll hear it from him.
Right. We'll hear.
He seems like if he wants to talk, he's going to go talk. So.
Right. He might have more songs coming out too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He's got in the studio clearly.
Also over the weekend, the college football playoff. We had so many bowl games, but the college football playoff are the games that we are talking about on New Year's Eve. We have our final two teams. We're going to get Alabama versus Georgia, part 2. Let's not talk about the national championship game because we'll talk about that next Monday when we do another 3 Point Stance. But let's just talk about what saw display between these two games. Alabama dominating Cincinnati. Cincinnati did try. They held on for like the first half, but Michigan couldn't do anything against Georgia. What was your stance on the two games?
Well, with Alabama, yeah, I mean, it was kind of what they did with Notre Dame last year. It's kind of like just a slow death for Cincinnati. I never felt like Cincinnati had a chance to win, but like even though they were kind of hanging around there, it's like they can't really move the ball against Alabama. Like these are just and Cincinnati does run a pretty, even though they have a quarterback who can move and everything, they run a pretty vanilla offense. And that's not how you're going to beat Alabama. So it was just kind of a slow death, which is kind of what they did to Notre Dame last year in the playoff. And then I thought where Michigan lost it was Georgia came and scored and went up 7-0. And then Michigan drove the ball down. And then they had on 3rd and 4th down, specifically 3rd down. I mean, the dude's wide open in the middle of the field, catches it, and he's going to return up the field and get the first down. And he doesn't catch the ball. He just drops it. He starts looking upfield before he actually secures the catch. And then on 4th down, they threw wide to the guy where he got his hands on the ball. And he probably could have caught it, but he didn't catch it. And so they turned it over on downs, and it felt like all that momentum was zapped. Georgia goes down, scores 14-0, and it's like, okay. And then Michigan didn't. And then when Michigan didn't score, it's like, okay, well, this is over.
Here's the thing, like with the semifinals, and this is nothing new. I just don't know why the semifinals just can't be entertaining. Like, and I know with college football playoff, that's always a conversation where you're talking about like, okay, let's really, really like extend the college football playoff. Let's make it, whether how many more teams that you do want. But this semifinal, I mean, maybe because we had a Grizzlies game on, we were at the arena. I had to watch on the laptop next to Lane Whitaker because he's a huge Georgia Bulldog fan. But it just felt as if like for this year, I was like, was this the best we could have done? Because we weren't in for like a really good treat. If you're an Alabama or Georgia fan, you probably were thoroughly entertained. But if I traveled for that, like someone could have shown up a little bit more. Like I just needed some type of competition.
Yeah, no, it was pretty blah. And the truth is with Georgia, if you want to beat Georgia, you've got to get up on Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia plays from ahead. They just pin their ears back defensively.
Yeah.
And it's over. But you need Georgia to play from behind if you want to beat them. You've got to get in front of them. Because then they have to start doing stuff they don't want to do. But if they get out in front of you 14, 17, 21 points, then they can just freaking run the ball and play the generic offense and play defense, and they're fine with it.
And here we are with what we kind of predicted a month ago was going to be the final for the college football championship. You're going to have Alabama, Georgia. We'll preview that matchup and give you our stance next week. And finally, for our last stance, let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. They traveled to Brooklyn tonight to take on the Brooklyn Nets. We're down a lot of guys, 6 games in health and safety protocols. Kyle Anderson was added to that list. Roser, with the Grizzlies coming to town to take on Brooklyn, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Patty Mills, who's being hot as of lately and playing a lot of minutes for the first time in his career. What does the Grizzlies have to do, and how do you see this one playing out?
Wait, so okay, so do we have guys back tonight? We have guys back tonight, don't we? By now.
They're still out. They're on the injury report of last night. They're still on the injury report.
Okay, D'Anthony Melton's been out like 3 weeks now. So, how is he not back?
Zaire Williams is questionable.
Zaire's questionable. He had an injury. They've been better without Zaire on the court either. He doesn't need to play. They'll lose if he plays. Sorry, I know that sounds rough, but it's just true. He's a rookie, and you're throwing him into the fire.
We need Zaire. We need Zaire.
I think they need Zaire if they want to lose. If they want to win, they're not going to play Zaire. Numbers say that too. But I love Zaire too. I think he's going to be fine. I just, it's just a different thing. But okay, it feels like Dylan and D'Anthony have been out over 10 days now. Like, how are they not ready?
Look, I think the protocols, it's very hard to understand. And
is Kyrie playing tonight?
Kyrie's not because it's in Brooklyn. So Kyrie's debut.
Oh yeah, it's in Brooklyn. He can't play because it's in Brooklyn.
That's right. His debut is going to be Wednesday in Indianapolis. But as your reaction, we have a lot of guys out. And so Coach Jenkins, once again, is going to have to teeter with the lineup.
Brooklyn's not unbeatable, though. Brooklyn's not amazing.
They're not unbeatable because we still have Josh Aaron, Desmond Bain, Steven Adams.
You got Josh Aaron, Desmond. You got a chance. You can win. You got Josh Aaron, Desmond. You can win.